A new, highly anticipated Marvel television series debuted on Netflix 7 years ago on April 10, 2015. It was one of television's best dramas, and it has repositioned Marvel for the small screen by reinventing its titular hero for mainstream audiences. Daredevil was the title of such show. In today's video, we'll discuss about it, as this is Marvel's Daredevil is a masterpiece. And before we can dive into the video, make sure you subscribe to our channel for more Marvel-obsessed content. Now, let's get going. Daredevil was the first in a series of interwoven dramas produced by Marvel and Netflix as part of a collaboration. While other outstanding shows such as Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and The Punisher were born from this partnership, Daredevil remains the gold standard, so much so that even if the Marvel Netflix lineup is no longer active, the series lives on in the hearts of innumerable fans. For a variety of reasons, Marvel Television's decision to produce the show was a risky one. After all, most mainstream viewers had previously connected the character of Daredevil with the much-maligned 2003 feature film. Furthermore, while the Marvel Cinematic Universe was already a huge item by 2015, it didn't have much of a TV presence at the time, with only one season of Agent Carter and a season and a half of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and it hadn't previously developed material specifically for adults. Daredevil on Netflix, in other words, had a lot to prove, and it did so admirably. It's easy to forget how completely Daredevil Season 1 was entrenched in the MCU, given how estranged Marvel Television as a whole evolved from Marvel Studios over time. On the big screen, Marvel Studios' shared universe was well established, and Netflix was free to delve into its darker edges. They also showed how the key events of the films affected ordinary people, as well as more niche superhumans with fewer resources who were now left to pick up the pieces once the Avengers mission was done. Daredevil was the greatest at it, with a blind hero who had superpowers thanks to his enhanced senses, but was also extremely human, despite having top-tier hand-to-hand fighting training. The battle scenes in the play were expertly staged, especially the famed corridor fights, and they seemed raw and authentic. Unlike in a movie when stock goons are knocked down with a single punch, Daredevil was forced to fight in attrition conflicts, battling tiredness as the foes he faced kept coming back for more. Recently, in the newest Marvel masterpiece, Spider-Man: No Way Home, Daredevil made a small guest appearance, and that made fans go crazy and reminded everyone exactly why he alone is a masterpiece too. No Way Home takes up where Spider-Man: Far Away From Home leaves off, with Mysterio's phony deathbed confession accusing Spider-Man of murdering him. He also reveals Spidey's secret identity as Peter Parker to the rest of the world. Peter and his family were beset by social and legal avalanches, including stalker and media mobs, acts of violence, and federal prosecutions, while being unprepared to become the world's most renowned person. Moving in with Happy alleviates some of the safety concerns, but the legal issues are handled by Matt Murdock, the Daredevil. Daredevil may be at the top of Marvel Television's hierarchy, but that doesn't mean it hasn't faced competition. After all, Jessica Jones Season 1 and Luke Cage Season 1 were just as good and game-changing as Daredevil Season 1, if not better in certain ways. While Luke Cage's first season is excellent in general, the first half is near perfect. Daredevil, on the other hand, stands apart because although Jessica Jones and Luke Cage struggled to recapture the enhancement of their first seasons, Daredevil managed to do it throughout its entire run. Season 3's finale was every bit as great and engaging as Season 1's premiere, if not better, depending on who you ask. Of course, none of this diminishes the influence Jessica Jones and Luke Cage have had on Marvel's on-screen offering. Furthermore, there's The Defenders, a good crossover miniseries, as well as another fantastic solo series in The Punisher. Even Iron Fist received far more criticism than it deserved. The point is that the Netflix lineup was truly unique for its darker, more nuanced approach to Marvel's on-screen universe. And it all started with Daredevil. Marvel's on-screen history on Netflix is finished, and with Marvel Studios preparing to make its presence felt on Disney+, it doesn't appear to be coming back anytime soon. That shouldn't detract from its legacy, nor from the interesting people and tales it produced, particularly Daredevil's. Now, if you're wondering, even after all this, is it worth watching? At the very least, it's a big yes. Daredevil is well worth your time. The primary actor has done a better job of portraying the man without fear than most of the previous incarnations. Not to mention the brutality and stunts, the supporting characters and storyline are all excellent. In the series, the characters talk for themselves. Daredevil's Charlie Cox, amazing performance. He effortlessly pulls off the blind but a superhero attitude. The character is adept at portraying both his good and bad moments, as well as times when he doubts himself and his actions. Punisher, my personal favorite. In the series, he lives true to his name, fantastic performance by the actor, and even greater characterization of the violent vigilante. Huge, brooding, vicious, and merciless crime boss known as the Kingpin will go to any length for this one and only love and to rule Hell's Kitchen. Furthermore, the exact same portrayal of character from the comics, according to me. Carrie Page and Foggy Nelson. The most devoted friends are those who are good and daredevils. Both performed admirably once again, especially one in which Foggy and Matt's relationship is called into doubt at one point in the series. Overall, Marvel's Daredevil remains a masterpiece and classic with just the right amount of superhero qualities, relatability, and obstacles.